Hey, how's it going, YouTube? I'm back in the video, and today we need to talk about Ben Simmons. Now, this video may be a little different than what you're expecting. If you're over here expecting me to start bashing Ben Simmons, talking about how bad he played and all that, this is not that video. Now, this is not a video defending Ben Simmons either. This is what I just kind of me looking at the whole Ben Simmons situation and how the NBA media is kind of addressing the situation. I'm going to say how I kind of disagree with how it's being addressed and some of the narratives being thrown out there. And now, before I get in this video, no, I am not a Philly fan. I'm not a Ben Simmons fan. I'm just an NBA fan that likes to put his 2 cents on certain situations, and this is one of them that I would like to talk about, because I don't feel like Ben Simmons is being treated fully fairly like he should be. So I'm going to get into all that in this video. And if you do like the video, aim point, hit the like button and subscribe button. It would mean the world to me. And without further ado, without rambling on too much, just get right into this video. Alright, so the first thing I want to get into is going to be the whole overreaction I personally think is being given out there, because I feel like people are fully overreacting to the few game sample sides we saw Ben Simmons play absolutely terrible in. Because I'm not even going to front, he played pretty ass in the last half of that Atlanta series, but let's look at the whole season he did as a whole, because I think recency bias is playing a huge factor. I've been seeing people disrespecting this man, talking about, is he a top 5 player from his draft? Is he this? Is he that? What's his trade value? All of that, and I just feel like he's been getting kind of disrespected. So let's look at the entire season. He's been averaging 14.3 points per game, 7.2 rebounds per game, and 7 assists per game, and he made an all-star team and an all-defensive team going into this season's playoffs. He was playing very, very good, and then even in the first round against the Washington Wizards, he was averaging 15 points per game, 9.2 assists per game, 7 rebounds per game, and 64% shooting from the field, which is extremely solid. So in the first series of the playoffs and the entire regular season, he did what he usually does, puts up great assist numbers, has great playmaking ability, can rebound the ball very good from the guard position, as well as being able to put up around 15 points a game. That's just what he is at this point in his career. Let's keep it a buck. He's not a 20 plus point per game scorer every given night. He will give you 15 points, but play elite defense, and is one of the best perimeter defensive players, if not the best perimeter defensive player in the entire NBA, and that is why he doesn't have to be a 20 plus point per game scorer. Everybody knows that he's not the best offensively. Everybody knows that, but for some reason, people went into this expecting him to come out here averaging 28 points per game, be an elite defender, start shooting threes out of nowhere, and just be like the next, I don't even know, just like play what he, just do what he doesn't usually do. For some reason, his expectations rose tremendously, and yes, I can understand that, because you're in the playoffs, you want him to perform well, and he had a few games where he performed pretty bad. And then even if you look at it, even in the first 4 games of the Atlanta series, he still did not play all that bad, as in the first 4 games of that series, he was still averaging 12.5 points per game, 1 block per game, 2 steals per game, 8.3 assists per game, and 6 rebounds per game on 67% shooting from the field. So, I mean, he still was playing very solid and pretty much giving what he was doing the entire regular season. And yes, you're supposed to bring up your game going into the postseason, but he did what he always did. No one had a problem with it. The only time people started having a problem with it, and rightfully so, was the second half of the series, where he still didn't play very well, and he struggled a ton offensively, and then also his free throw shooting was a huge problem the entire playoffs, and I have no excuse for that. Ben Simmons, you have to be able to shoot free throws. I don't care who you are, you have to be able to shoot free throws. You cannot be a guard and let the thing hack a Simmons be a thing, okay? Like, you cannot let that happen. I think his free throws are mainly a mental thing, and he is going to be able to get over that, and I'm sure he's going to be able to get back to his old self at least 70% from the free throw line, at least. But overall, in my opinion, if you look at the entire season as a whole, he did not have a bad season at all. I mean, all defensive team, all-star game, 15 points per game, elite defensive player, an elite playmaker, that the only thing you can really ask for is a little bit more scoring, and that would be around 20 points per game. So don't take this as me really defending him and saying he didn't play bad, because yes, he did play very bad in the back half of that Atlanta series, needed to be more aggressive on offense, needed to score more, and he probably should have took that shot that he passed up on. But I don't think for 1 second that the overreaction should be as big as it is, because I mean, there was other problems going on in that series I'm going to get into a little bit later, but also just overall in the season, he still was an all-star level player, and I think that he really was. Like, I can say an elite defender that has elite playmaking with an probably 15 points per game and the size that he has and can grab boards and be as physical as he is in guard 1 through 5, I'm taking that type of player on my team almost in any circumstance, especially if they're going to start trading him for a bag of chips. I mean, this dude is not a bum like people are making him out to be. He is still a very good player with tons of potential still. Now, I know we say this every season, but if the dude would just get a jump shot or just mentally prepare himself to shoot shots in a game, he would literally be one of the most unstoppable players in the NBA. So for everybody giving up on him and calling him a bum, calling him not even top 5 in his draft class, all things like that, I think it's a complete overreaction. Yes, he played bad in the back half of this series, but I don't think that's enough to say he played bad in 4 games or 3 games, and that's enough to say, let's trade him, blow everything up, he's terrible, all that. And for Doc Rivers to say he doesn't know if he can be a point guard on a championship team, that's just a bad coach. You cannot coach like that. The fact that he said that kind of makes me mad, and I'm not even a Philly fan, but if I was a Philly fan, that would upset me. You are the head coach of a team. Ben Simmons is still very young, still can improve, and it still played very solid for you, and you're going to say something like that. That would piss me off if I was Ben Simmons, and if you piss him off, then he's going to demand a trade, and then if you think his trade value is low right now, just think about how much lower it's going to be when the dude demands a trade and says he will not play for your organization. Then you got yourself in a really big pickle, don't you, Doc Rivers? Okay, and I don't think Doc Rivers should be passing blame like that. I don't think it's a coincidence that every team he's on consistently blows leads and consistently fails in the playoffs. So I don't think all the blame should be put on Ben Simmons, especially because I think there was a huge thing that was never reported, was that Danny Green went down with an injury. When Danny Green went down with an injury, they were up 2-1 in the series, and that was their second best three-point shooter in the entire team. And although he wasn't shooting good from the field, he still provides much needed spacing on this team, as Danny Green, when he goes down, that makes more attention go to Simmons and less attention to three-point shooting, which affects him greatly, because when you can only focus on Simmons driving, you have to worry about 2 shooters on the wing. Now you only have to worry about Seth Curry and then the other 2 guys in the paint, Embiid and Simmons. Well, that takes away so much worry around the perimeter that they once had, and you need spacing when your 2 best players are Embiid and Simmons, and when that spacing is no longer needed because Danny Green goes down with an injury, well, then that affects your game plan a ton. And for no one to report on Danny Green, who was their starter every game he played, is ridiculous. I think they definitely should have reported that more, and it was a much bigger deal than people made it out to be. So just an overall, I think it's a little bit of an overreaction. I don't think Ben Simmons is a bum like people are saying he is, and I think it's a lot of recency bias being put into it, and I also think Danny Green going down with the injury was a bigger deal than people made it out to be. But unfortunately, guys, that's going to be it for this video. So comment below, do you agree with me? Do you think Ben Simmons was unfairly treated? Do you think he's being overreacted to? On your thoughts in the comment section below. If you do like the video, hit the like button and subscribe button. That would mean the absolute world to me. See you in the next video. Oh wait, no, almost forgot. Can't forget this part. Hope you have a blessed day. Have a blessed day. So you need a blessed day. See you in the next video. All glory to God. Goodbye, boo, blah.